G'day, welcome back. So today we're going to be fitting new shock absorbers into our Project 90s80. Right, so before we get into the car, we'll just give you a bit of an overview of kind of how these struts work. These are pretty much the same for Audi 80, 90, Coupe, Quattro, even the rally cars. They all use pretty much the same basic system. Apart from, later cars had a two-piece affair, so they had a strut and a wheel bearing housing. Early cars, like the original UR-quattros, those kind of ones, the strut and wheel bearing housing are all one piece, so you've got to take that whole thing off the car. These, much easier, you've got two bolts that hold this assembly in. Conventional McPherson strut type, you've got a top mount, spring, a shock that goes into this housing. There's a couple of key kind of wear items. Suspension top mounts. These you can get through kind of every 6 months or so if you're hard on the equipment. You see this is a typical strut mount that fits on one of these, including the rally cars. Compare that to a Mark III Golf, so that's a Mark III Golf one. Huge bit of rubber. There's your little tiny Audi one. So yeah, you can see why they wear out. There's not much to them. Lights over here. So yeah, high failure rate on these. There are some uprated versions. They don't seem to do too much better, but yeah. Every time you look at the suspension on one of these cars, change these. Right, to do any work on the suspension on these cars, you need a few special tools. Here they are. So starting right to left, we've got a pipe wrench. Kind of important. Real hard to do it without that. Some spring compressors. If you don't have impact tools, you'll need some kind of L-shaped wrench with a hole in it, so you can do up the nut on top of the strut. A 22mm deep socket. Ball joint separator. This is important. I'll show you why in a second. And you need one of these handy little strut tools. So it's got the two pins. These are kind of common on the Audis. It's for undoing the nut on top of the strut. We'll show you that in use. So there's plenty of videos out there on YouTube that tell you can just hit your struts with a hammer to get the tie rod end to separate. On these, not so good. We'll show you why. So you see where the tie rod end goes through here. It's into this kind of pressed steel part, and you see where someone's been at it before with a hammer and they've kind of deformed it all. It's not really the look you want on your thing, so do it properly. Use a separator or a pickle fork. Chances are if you're going in there to change anything, you're going to be changing the tie rod ends as well. They're pretty high failure rate. So yeah, do it right, use the right tools, don't mess up your stuff. Here's the strut on the car. You can see we've got a leaking shock there, so we need to get this sorted. Here's some of the bits you need to undo. You've got a anti-roll bar there on the right, got the tie rod end on the left. You've got two bolts to hold the strut in place. You also need to take the brake caliper off so you can get those bolts out. And there's a little bracket with two 10mm bolts, one either side. That just moves out of the way. Just be careful of your ABS sensor wire. Make sure you don't damage that in any way, because that's probably a pain to sort out. And let's start taking it to pieces. At the same time, I'll also take off these two 17mm. If it doesn't pop off, there is a room for an 18mm spanner on the nut behind. Yeah, with that roll bar kind of forward, you can then kind of hide or tuck your brake caliper in behind it. Gives it something to hold on to. Stops it going anywhere. Right, next up, your tie rod end, which is a 17 probably. Of course, you risk damaging the boot doing this, but as I say, if you're going in here, you might as well just change everything, because it's all really cheap these days. There we go. This is where you need the 22mm deep socket so you can clear the threads of that bolt. Oh, mind you break that. And the bolts come out. Right, then we're going to undo this top nut here, 22mm. Make sure you're holding the strut whilst you do this. And there's your prize, we'll stick it on the bench. Alright, so here's our strut. So first of all we need to compress the springs. So you've got one on this side that way up, which clears the spring perch nicely. This way, because this will kind of interfere with this, we've just had to flip it upside down. No big deal. We've just got to remember which way up our spring is. There we go, our spring's free to move there. Right, next we've got this nut that holds the top mount and top hat on. That's where you need your special two-pronged socket. Sits in there. Okay, this one was pretty loose. You can normally tease them off with a screwdriver or some other means, but this is the right way to do it. Ta-da! And your top mount comes off. This one's pretty recent actually. It's a swag one, quality one. And this top plate, and the concave washer. Right, now we're ready to swap the shocks over. This is where our next special tool comes in. A pipe wrench. Need it to undo this nut. Right, so this is going to be a shock like you've never seen before, or might not have seen before. So you take this collar off, and then this is the shock piston. So it actually uses this strut housing as the kind of the body of the shock. And you've got this goopy kind of pistony one of these, long since dead. So it kind of uses this fluid as your damping fluid. It's pretty nasty, pretty old school. And then put you down here. I'll show you how much fluid comes out of one of these. You see that? Show you how much goes on the floor. Yeah, it's pretty hard to look in a camera and do something precision like that. So there we go. Right, so that's our shock tower. Going to give it a bit of a clean up before we stick back together, so you don't need to see that. So I'll clean it up and I'll come back to you shortly. Right, so here's our cleaned up shock tower, and we've got our new, more conventional looking strut to go in. Actually, that goes down in there. There's a bit of wiggle room there, so what I normally do, which happens on a few different cars, I don't know if it ever tells you to do this, but I always put a chunk of oil in this body just to act as a damper. Obviously not too much, we'll come back out and make you look like your shocks are leaking. So your oil up to kind of half the body of the shock there. And then we've got some hardware. So we've got a washer that goes on top of there. We're going to put our new nut on. See, these new ones actually come with like a surface for putting a big wrench on. Not seen ones that do that before. I've never had these Topran ones before. Always had the Bose or Sachs ones, which always came with just a straight round collar. Hit that up, see what we got. Much better. Put our spring back on. I'm going to put back on what's left of our bump stop. Couldn't get new ones at a reasonable price. They would cost as much as the shock, so I just kind of left it. So line your spring up where it needs to be. Pretty much there. Then you can put your concave washer on. Then you can put your spring seat. Again. Then you put your top mount. Then you put your slotted washer thing in. Now don't tighten this up with an impact or anything silly. Right, tighten that up, not too tight. Make sure our spring's all lined up where it should be, then we can unleash the beast. And there we go. New shock, new top mount. No new bump stop, but oh well. Looks nice and clean. So put it back on. You've got your 2 bolts there. You've got your anti-roll bar link that goes there. Tie rod end, 22mm nut. So won't really show you the bottom bits. We'll show you tightening up this top nut here. Right, so this top nut here holds the strut in. It's 22mm. You could just weld on it with an impact, but then you might damage the shock insert, so you can use one of these. Put it on there. Got an Allen key that fits in the shaft of the strut. And tighten it up. we go. Nice and tight. I'll see if we can show you what one of these old style struts looks like. So it's just a liquid filled. That's it. You've got a valve at the bottom here. Got this valve down here. Got seals and valves. And this kind of valve bit at the bottom. They're not very user friendly. I suppose you could service these, replace the seals, upgrade your fluid, but yeah, definitely some old technology there. Only ever seen this on Audis. I'm sure other cars probably may be used to do stuff like this. And this is the top seal, the one at the top of the strut thing. It's just gone kind of hard and brittle, so I suppose you could have just replaced this seal and maybe stop leaking for a bit. But I think I'd much rather have a nice sealed damper unit than having to faff around with all this stuff. There we go, pretty simple. A couple of little pointers there, it makes the job a bit easier for you. Get your hands dirty. There you go, shocks and struts on a 1980s, 1990s Audi small vehicle platform. Job done. So next up we've got some more suspension work. We're going to do ball joints, tie rod ends, anti-roll bar links, wishbone bushes. Just going to do it all, then it's done. Be nice and tight, only have to do one wheel alignment. Need some new tyres anyway, so we'll get it all done, get it riding nicely, and we'll be away. See you at the next one. Cheers!